As spring approaches, many people find themselves diving into the depths of the woods to forage wild, edible food. But how do you know that what you're looking for is actually safe to eat? My name is Katie Lawver. I'm a holistic health coach with Meadowood Wellness, and today we're going to talk about wild edible food, but specifically, we're focusing on ramps.
Hi, I'm Katie, and I'm a busy working mom, wife, and entrepreneur living in the mountains. We're not perfect, but we live our life as natural and realistically as possible. I work to empower other mamas to take control of their health in order to grow healthy families. Through mindset shift exercises and a focus on filling up your cup, we work together to create a life of balance and total body wellness. Join me on my journey to make this world a healthier place, one mama at a time.
So, whenever we go into the woods, we want to be sure that we know exactly what we're looking for, and making sure that you have resources at your fingertips to study up on foraging is crucial. I never go into the woods and pick anything that I'm going to eat myself or feed to my son or my family members or my friends unless I am 100% sure that I know what it is. And whenever I'm starting to forage something new, I always go into the woods with my identifier app on my phone, my plant identifier app, and my books as a backup. So it is crucial that before you forage anything, you do your research. And if you have any doubts in your mind when you're picking something to eat, I always say, leave it behind. Just don't pick it at all. If it looks like you might need to yield some caution or you're just not 100% sure, don't take the risk. Eating food that is wild, that you don't know what it is, can definitely result in some serious sickness or even death. So you want to be sure that every single time you go into the woods to forage any type of mushroom, any type of berry, any type of plant, that you know for sure and that you feel confident and comfortable that what you are picking is in fact what it's supposed to be. Today, I'm going to talk to you very quickly about ramps. Ramps are nature's wild leek or wild onion. They are absolutely amazing, super tasty. They smell so good, garlicky and oniony. If you don't like onion or garlic, these aren't for you, but they really add a lot of zest and flavor to any dish. They're great for just adding as a garnish, sauteing and wilting the leaves in a pan. You can add them to your eggs. You can, bake with them in bread. You can do so much with these. Some people like to make pesto, some people like to make butter, some people make ramp salt. So there are a lot of different ways that you can utilize ramps. These ramps right here that I have foraged just this morning are actually going to be going to a local field to table restaurant. So I'm really, really excited about that I get to provide them with local foraged food. When you're looking for ramps, they always are kind of blossoming up in the beginning of spring, and you want to get them right in the beginning of spring because as the sun gets brighter and stronger, they will actually get yellowed. And so they'll end up looking like this. So they'll get this kind of yellow. You can see how this one's just kind of dying away. They'll get yellow like this, and then they're bad. They're no good. So you really want to go right in the beginning of spring to forage your ramps. They're typically found in shaded areas because they don't like the sun, and in areas that have some moisture to the ground but well-drained soil. So you're never going to find them sitting in water. You're not going to find them, just in areas that are super, super wet, but you definitely will find them in areas that do get some good rainfall, that do get some good moisture, but have well-drained soil that are shaded. And like I said, they pop up in the spring, so you want to go out right in the beginning of the spring to forage these. When you are foraging ramps, you want to be sure that you're foraging them sustainably, meaning that you never want to dig the ramp up and take the roots. You want to leave the root ball behind. This ensures that the plant is going to be able to grow back again time and time and time again for the next seasons. So whenever you're foraging them, you want to cut them, as you can see here, right before you get to the root ball below. So you can cut them off right before. Sometimes you can even cut them like this, where you're just cutting off the tip of where it's starting to get into the root ball, but you never want to take that full bulb on the bottom with the roots. You always want to leave that behind. As you can see, ramps have a really beautiful, tall, kind of flat leaf, and then the very distinct purple stem that goes into that bulb. This is how you identify ramps. You are always looking for these purple stems, okay? Purple stems, and then the next best distinction is the smell. If you cut them, smell the bottoms, smell the leaves. what you're gonna notice is that they smell very clearly like onion or garlic. If you forage anything else that you think might be a ramp and it doesn't have that distinct smell, or it doesn't have this purple shoot, it's probably not a ramp. It's actually probably, yeah, it's not a ramp. Now, one plant that can be falsely identified as ramps is lily of the valley. And lily of the valley does not have this purple shoot. The leaves look almost identical. So with lily of the valley, you will see this nice big flat leaf, but as it goes into the ground, you'll notice that the green from the leaf continues all the way into the ground. Oftentimes, lily of the valley in between the two leaves will also have a shoot or a stem coming up with a flower. Those are not ramps. That is lily of the valley, and it is poisonous to eat. So you need to be very careful when you're foraging for ramps and be sure that you know exactly what you're looking for. There are some other identifiers that you can look for, and I just encourage you to do your research. So, like I said, there are all kinds of plant identifying apps out there now that you can download onto your phone. You can literally take a picture of a plant and it will tell you what it is, or you can get some really great books. I have a bunch of foraging books. I just pulled a couple of them out of my collection. I love Everything and Anything by Peterson. This is Peterson's Field Guide to Medicinal Plants and Herbs. You can also find these kind of quick reference guides. So I have a bunch of these for trees, bushes, all kinds of stuff, but these two happen to be the edible wild plants and mushrooms one. These are really nice and handy and great for when you're hiking because they are so thin and lightweight. You can just slip them into your pack, but these are wonderful because they do fold out quite extensively, and they're front and back, and they show you, I'll just go right here to a page, all kinds of different plants, and it tells you a little bit about them, the genus, everything, how tall they should be, different identifiers, so that you can actually look, see the picture, read about it, and make sure that what you're picking is what it says it is. I also love this book. It's called The Magic and Medicine of Plants. It's super old. It's by Reader's Digest, but it is amazing. This was my mom's, and I was fortunate enough to inherit it from her, but it's beautiful. It has lots of really beautiful pictures of the plants and talks all about them, tells you if they're poisonous or not, etc. And then my latest addition to my collection of foraging books is this one, which I love, and it's called Foraging with Kids, and it's great. It's all in recycled paper. It's just a really, really fun book talking about how to forage safely with children, talking about finding edible wild plants that are generally safe for children to eat, and then it gives some really great recipes. So this is a really fun one that we've been enjoying to utilize with Silas. Like I said, I've got a bunch of others, but these are some of my absolute favorites. So you always want to be sure that you're stocking up on your resources when it comes to foraging. Having the plant identifier app, having these resources is great, especially on hand when you're in the woods, but the best thing to do is not just go about this quickly. You need to research, you need to study, you need to read and educate yourself over and over and over again, just to make sure that you really feel confident before you jump into the woods and start picking wild edible food. All right, so that's it for today. If you have any questions about foraging food, feel free to reach out to me. I'm still learning every single day about foraging. There's only a handful of things that I truly feel confident and comfortable going into the woods and picking through the mushrooms and different plants. Obviously, there's the easy peasy ones like dandelion and blackberries and raspberries and things like that. But when it comes to other plants, that are a little bit more difficult, I definitely like to do my research. So if you have questions, reach out. I'm happy to give you some suggestions on places to start and tools that you should need when you're foraging. All right, I hope you have a great day, and I'll talk to you guys soon.